This is not a drill. We are recording a podcast. We're back on the airwaves, as it were. God, okay, maybe. Okay, we're rusty at this, but we'll just go.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
A long time.
Yes.
Life happens.
Life does. Anyway, so yeah, I'm Will.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going to be doing a podcast today about the news about DC.
Yeah, just a week later.
Yeah, we're right on top of this here at Barely
Exactly.
Functioning. People know exactly.
That's barely functioning. All right, we want to talk about DC.
Because, yeah, they got a new CEO up in DC studios by the name of James Gunn. I'm sure you heard of him.
Yeah, who's the other guy that he's running it with?
Peter Safran, I think is his name. I can't believe I just pulled that out. By the way, we're not looking at anything. Obviously, there's no video going on. We weren't bothered. We couldn't be bothered to put our videos up. But don't worry, I'm sure there's going to be fantastic.
We are just so passionate to talk about this.
We couldn't wait. We could wait a week and a week, not a day later. So we were like, forget the cameras. We'll just do an audio. But I'm sure there'll be great still images pairing up this. Anyway, let's get straight to the news. We always just dabble along in this podcast. So we have the lineup right ahead of us. Apparently, they titled the first leg of
they had a Marvel-like presentation. But yeah, they have their Phase 1. They're calling it Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters.
But yeah, so already they're deviating from Marvel. They're calling them chapters instead of phases. So
yes.
That we're not copying Marvel. We got our own thing going on.
So, before we break down each movie and what we think is going to be it, how do you feel about DC starting over again with having a new thing where they're keeping the Joker, they're keeping the Batman, and they're having other projects that can now be labeled DC Elseworlds, which I'm happy they did that and they're not like just scrapping them.
I agree.
entirely.
I agree on that aspect for sure.
But they still have The Flash, Aquaman 2, Shazam 2. What was the other one? Blue Beetle's still coming out.
That's good news. I didn't know
that one. I was scared Blue Beetle was going to get canceled like Batgirl did. Oh, and another thing, they're calling it the DCU now, not the DCEU. Granted, DCEU was never an official thing.
Really? It wasn't?
Yeah, it was never official. I think it was Entertainment Weekly when Batman vs. Superman was coming out, said the DCEU extended universe in an article, and everybody just ran with it.
The internet took it to that journalism then, because that's just like that's stuck. That's stuck for a long time.
Yeah, well, everyone was like, "Yeah, it makes sense." So even people at DC were like, "Yeah, this isn't official, but it's basically what it's called now." So it's a DC universe. So those 4 films, while part of the DCEU. The Flash is apparently resetting everything.
Okay, well, the thing that I didn't understand about The Flash, we'll get into it. But yeah, no, another thing that we got to talk about is the craziness of the cast. Because apparently Henry Cavill's out as Superman.
Yes.
He was back in for a hot minute.
For a week.
A hot second.
A week.
And boy, that minute was hot. It was that week. I mean, it was all over.
Yeah.
He was back as Superman. And then he is out. It's just simple. Cut and dry. He's no longer Superman.
Yeah.
I read an article headline, because let's be real, it's 2023. People don't read articles. They just do the headline. And James Gunn said that technically Henry Cavill was not fired as Superman. He said that he simply was not hired to be Superman.
Yes.
And don't you love that corporate language already coming from James Gunn?
Apparently it was like he was The Rock had people at Warner Brothers, because apparently The Rock wanted to take over DC.
Rock's got people everywhere.
The Rock forced Henry Cavill to be forced his hand to be in it. Like, Henry Cavill wanted to come back, but The Rock was like, all right, we'll just put you in the movie. This wasn't a plan, but we'll put you in the movie. To force it be like, all right, he's back. So, yeah, he's out, and everyone else is kind of up in the air.
I think, Momoa is kind of a maybe. Godot is a maybe, and for some reason, Ezra Miller, I think, is a solidified.
Maybe.
I think it's known that he's back and he's staying, which is crazy to me, because if there was one guy
after everything,
exactly, if there was one guy that maybe would be a red flag to this.
Oh, and then Ben Affleck's gone.
Oh yeah, we're gone for
but I thought he was doing cameo in Aquaman too. So.
Oh yeah, they had that planned. I read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were planning a cameo for him.
They got caught.
Dude.
Like, Ben Affleck walked out of the filming and a tour was going through and someone saw him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's how the news leaked.
Oh yeah, on Instagram. I remember you showing me that. So yeah, before we go through the lineup of Chapter 1 for the DCU, there are movies coming out still that are not going to be a part of this, but still DC projects.
Like what?
Shazam 2. is coming out soon.
But
I
how?
believe they're not scrapping Aquaman 2, right?
No, but like how James Gunn explained it in the video. Did you watch the video?
I wish we knew this beforehand. I would watch the video. This isn't great journalism from ours, but we never claimed to be. But
Nah.
did you watch the video?
Yeah.
Okay, good. One of us did, so you can explain.
In an article he said the Flash is resetting everything, and that's where the DCU is going to start from. So that's how they're going to be like, some things are the same, some things are different.
I think the strength of it, like you said earlier, was the whole Elseworlds thing. Because I know privately off the podcast we talked about it, and we both agreed that the Batman is so good that we don't want that to be erased.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how long it took to greenlight the Batman 2. Did we ever cover the Batman on this? I don't know if we did. I love that movie.
Great movie.
So I am glad that that's still a thing. I'm glad that they didn't cut it. The Joker is fine. I mean, it's interesting.
You didn't like it that much?
It was fine. It was good. It was an artistic take, and it's good. It's solid. I think
it was great.
I've watched it once, and I don't really have
It's a hard film to watch.
It's a hard rewatch. It's not a fun one. So
yeah, it's not like people getting beat up.
But well made movie, but not a fun one. And so those two are alive and well.
It's cool that they have this Elseworlds because it means like not everything is forced into the like how Marvel is, where everything is. If you're doing something in the Marvel universe, it has to be part of the MCU,
which really affects the tone. That's the problem. Is everything in Marvel has a very similar tone, and it's hard to deviate from that. So with this,
it's very cool that they can be like, we want to do this, but we don't want the rest of the world to be affected. We don't want the rest of the world affecting the movie. So it's cool that they can't do that.
Right.
That is the one solid thing out of this announcement that I love.
And quickly, I'm going to see if I can pull up the timeline. Well, to no avail, the timeline, I don't know if it's still jumbled. We'll put up a picture of the timeline if I can find one.
I think that's pretty accurate. To what it's going to be.
It looks like it's divided between movies and TV shows, but we'll go through it one by one on the list that they have. So number 1, they have Superman Legacy.
Which I've read is literally just going to be a reboot of Superman.
Not against it. One of my biggest criticisms of Man of Steel is that you didn't get that classic Clark Kent story of him being young. I'm talking like 20s, early 20s, trying to figure everything out, going to Metropolis, not having a very established relationship with anyone, still trying to develop relationships, especially with Lois. And you never really got that Man of Steel. Lois figured she knew before anyone. Well, she knew before he moved to Metropolis. Yeah. So I understand. We'll talk about Man of Steel, I'm sure, one of these times, and it'll be a very interesting discussion.
We can do a rewatch.
So Superman Legacy, it's a reboot. I'm good. We haven't had a telling of the Superman origin, really, in my opinion, since the 77 one.
Yeah.
Biggest, of course, question I'm sure on everyone's mind, and biggest thing that this hangs on probably is going to be the star of the movie, who they get, and then the director. Superman is kind of a tough character to cast, I guess.
Yeah, and I wonder if you're going to be worried because I think James Gunn is writing it.
That does worry me. I'm not a fan. I'm going to say it right now. James Gunn is kind of a mixed bag to me. I think I really liked his work on the first Guardians. I didn't like the second Guardians, and everything outside of Guardians I didn't really like. I've never really seen anything that I was.
I think this is his chance to maybe not do something so funny.
I hope he impresses me. I hope he completely proves me wrong. But usually his writing, I think, gears a little bit immature for my liking, and I don't know. Hopefully it's a good fit because I don't know. Sometimes things can get a little sophomoric as well, and I don't think.
Did he help write Thor 4?
But I don't think so. I think it was
okay.
Just Taika and improvisation.
Oh, I forgot.
Check out our Thor 4 video if you want. That thing's a mess.
So yeah, it's a reboot of Superman.
But yeah, I want a good old fashioned Superman movie. So I hope I'm wrong. It's in my faith is in shaky foundations with James Gunn if he's writing it, and definitely if he's directing it.
I don't know if it's going to be a young Superman though.
Well, how young are you thinking?
Well, I don't think that young because of the Batman movie we see next on the list.
Oh shoot!
The Brave and the Bold.
Jacob just blew my mind because he's completely right. I was kind of expecting a 27-year-old actor to be Superman, but now with the second one on the list is the Brave and the Bold. Now I did read a little bit about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jacob's here to correct me as always. It's a Batman movie called The Brave and the Bold, and it's going to be Batman and Robin.
Yes.
But not just any Robin. We're talking about chronologically the fourth Robin, Damian Wayne.
This is what I want to talk about the most, is this Batman movie.
Oh, really? Wow.
Because, I mean, we'll get to the rest of the list, but the rest of the list is... We'll get to the rest of the list. I want to talk about the Batman movie the most because I'm interested in it. Because I don't know how I feel about it. Because it's Damian, his son. So, obviously, if they're doing it how they should, Batman has had a lot happen already. Mm-hmm. He's old.
Went through 3 Robins.
One Robin died. Came back. Damian's the Robin. I'm just going to look up the comic. I have it up real quick.
Oh, is it Grant Morrison one? Because they always attach to Grant Morrison.
Yes.
That's a good cover. I know, Batman obviously does not look like how Batman usually looks. He's kind of more of, laid back, leisure. It looks like he's been taking it easy. But, Grant Morrison's a fun writer, in my opinion. But
yeah, so it's based off his run.
I should read that run then.
Damian has popped up in the past... What do you say? 5-7 years?
I'd say
he's exploded.
Whenever Injustice 2 came out, that's when I'm like, I think that's when the tide started turning.
Well, and there was those 3 animated films that DC Animated Studios did.
Then they pushed Super Sons, the comic with him and John Kent.
And that just got an animated movie late last year.
Yeah.
I just watched that earlier this week. It was all right.
But
I just, after watching that movie, and I sat and I was like, geez, Damian's popping up a lot.
You know what?
I like the character.
Yeah, I will say that. I will say that they fixed the character a lot for me. When the character first showed up and when I first found out about the character, however old I was not a fan of that character. I didn't really like Damian. I think, as many other people did. They kind of thought he was a spoiled guy that, was kind of annoying and not anything. But then they really developed his character into something that is likable or, interesting at least. He's easily, out of the 4 Robins, my 4th favorite Robin, but he's gone from...
I like him more than Jason.
I appreciate Jason for what he is.
Yeah.
But I can see that.
But they're all very close for me.
Oh yeah, no, they're close. But that's the thing. It used to be Dick, Jason, and Tim were very close, and then Damian was far behind.
When he first showed up, it was...
it wasn't even a contest. So I'm glad they fixed the character, but you're right. Going back to the movie, because obviously, like everything else, it's supposed to be an interconnected universe. So for him to have a kid, but Damian should be the 4th Robin. That is concerning, because I know in our off-podcast conversations, we've said the best way to deviate, to have the Elseworld stories work while having a interconnected universe, would be to introduce Robin to Batman immediately, because then you'd have tonally a different Batman right off the bat, and people would be more accepting of it. But you're right, it should be Dick, because then Superman can be 28 and Batman can be 28.
And can be younger, still kind of early. That was something I wanted to bring up, is this is the first on-screen Robin we're getting
since Chris O'Donnell
in 25 years? When did that film come out?
97, I think it was.
So 26 years
Year
ago.
of Our Lord, 97.
By the time the movie comes out, it's going to be closer to 30 years.
Man, you're right.
I'm not saying Damian's a bad Robin to have on screen.
No.
But why can't we get Dick or even Tim before we do Damian?
We're getting Dick in this movie. We're getting Dick.
Well, and so I saw a post.
Means nothing.
Where
if there's any people confused about what I was going for with that joke, it meant we were getting nothing in this movie.
I saw a post where Damian shouldn't be Robin right away in the movie. Tim should be the Robin, and they have like a conflict.
Oh.
Like there's a hatred between both of them because Damian wants to be what Tim is, and something like that. I was like, I will be more okay with it if it's like that.
Yeah, if there's anything,
instead
any remnant
of just
of it.
opening the film and Damian's just Robin.
Yeah, personally, I think in this interconnected universe, their deal with Batman. Look, you got the Batman movies with Robert Pattinson. Have him be the main character in that one. In these interconnected movies, make Batman movies basically just Robin factories. Just do the first one with Dick, second one with Dick leaving, third one Jason comes along, and then just keep going through it until you get Damian. Tell that story of that. I think it should be a Robin factory, and then you focus on Batman and his gloominess and his despair with the Robert Pattinson movies.
Yeah, and I'm fine with them doing a later Robin first, I guess. If it was Tim, it would be even better. But if they're doing this, they have to have the rest of the history. Like the problem with Ben Affleck's Batman. They're like, he's older.
Mhm.
He's done a lot. You see the Robin suit of Jason Todd.
But you didn't see it. You don't have any connection to that.
They don't talk about Dick. They don't talk about Jason. They don't talk about Tim. What happened? They're like, yeah, he's a grizzled old Batman. What happened?
Yeah, they don't give you anything.
So if this is another old Batman, what I just hope they don't do what they did in there and just forget about don't talk about the history. Like, that's why everyone loves Batman.
A good point.
Is that Batman has such a great history, all the stuff that's happened. So I'm fine with them doing another old Batman because again, we have Pattinson, so that's the young Batman. We can have that, and I'm glad that they did the Elseworlds thing because everyone was clamoring for Robin. And when the Batman movie came out, they're like, oh, I want to see Robin in this universe, blah, 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 Robin, Robin, Robin. So now I'm happy that since we're having this movie with Robin, people can chill on the Batman movies not having a Robin. They won't be clamoring for it. So then Matt Reeves can tell his story. We get the young Batman learning stuff.
And Matt Reeves isn't pressured to do any Robin stuff. If he wants to.
And he's not pressured into connecting universes, nothing like that.
That's why I think that's the strength of this all.
Yeah.
The whole thing is how they're respecting things and they're keeping things separate.
Yeah.
But yeah, with just story wise, it is. When I read that it was Damian, I was let down. I think you should do it chronologically, and I think that's what, like you said, that's what makes Batman as popular as he is.
Again, if it'll be fine if they just acknowledge the history.
But then that's the good thing you had with the Batman history. Batman having a history, and then Superman being basically a startup. That's the weird thing. That's a bit of a disconnect.
So that's why I don't think Superman Legacy. I think it's a reboot. I think we're gonna start out, and he's already at the Daily Planet. Mm-hmm. He's already met Lois.
Year one, Superman would be fine. Yeah. Year 2, fine.
I don't know if it's gonna be that young.
Year 5.
If Batman's already at Damian...
No, you're completely right. But, that's just going to be interesting to see that play out then. Next on the list, I was kind of surprised that this was in Chapter 1. I was kind of surprised to see...
Let's go out of order here, because... let's talk about the big...
Omaha.
Well, and we don't know if this is the actual timeline. I don't think it's the actual timeline. But they're doing this TV show...
Yeah, Jacob's going rogue. Which one are you going for?
Called Paradise Lost.
Oh, okay.
So... This is supposed to be like Game of Thrones type show.
What? Oh.
On the Mascara.
Yes.
So this is where the confusion comes in because there's no confirmation on whether or not Gal Gadot is going to be in this. There's no confirmation if she's still Wonder Woman. There's no clarification if she's going to be in the show at all. Okay, but I wanted to talk about it because I want to talk about the big three before I go on a rant about the rest of the chapter 1.
Oh, shoot.
So, with this, James Gunn acknowledged that the movies, TV shows, animated movies, and video games can all be connected. They'll all have the same actors. So, like, the voice actors in animated stuff are going to be the actors if they show up in a live-action thing.
Could you imagine the contracts they're writing up right now?
Which is crazy to me because, okay, it's cool, because... If a voice actor kills it, you want to see them reprise their role live action.
You want to see that likeness.
Sometimes there's a voice actor can't play a live action version.
Ooh, fair point.
So I'm not saying voice actors and actors are separate, they shouldn't intertwine. Sometimes it can happen. Voice acting's hard.
Oh yeah.
It's not as easy as a normal person thinks it is.
I'm trying to think of a good. Look at Chris Pratt in the Mario movie. Everyone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
People are breaking him over the coals.
I don't know how it's going to play out, but that's his promise. That's how it's going to work.
That's going to be interesting. It's me, Mario.
Yeah. In Chapter 1, they already have TV shows, animated video games. Everything's going to connect somehow. This is my problem with this chapter, is that they are already doing stuff like Marvel Phase 4.
Yeah.
Before they have the big three... Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman established. They don't have the Justice League established, and
they're taking big swings like this.
If we go back to the list, we can still talk about them all, but I want to list them real quick. So before we have the Justice League established, before we have the big three established, we are getting a Supergirl movie, The Authority in a movie, which I'm pretty sure 90% of DC viewers probably didn't know about the Authority
Dude,
until this announcement.
I'm a pretty big DC fan. I had no idea what the Authority is.
It came out in like the 90s, I think.
Okay, well,
And it was a short run.
we'll talk about it when we get to it.
They're doing a Swamp Thing movie.
I know Swamp Thing.
Yes.
So everyone who's like, oh, you just like the big ones. I know Swamp Thing.
A Creature Commandos animated TV show.
Something I know nothing about.
A Waller TV show.
I know Waller.
A Lanterns TV show, which,
Big
okay,
fan
that's
of-
cool.
I'm a big fan
That's
of Green
fine
Lantern.
for chapter 1.
But I will say this is kind of, oh, you know what? I'll save it.
And then Booster Gold TV show.
Love Booster Gold. Surprised to see him in chapter 1.
Yes, that is my biggest thing about this chapter, Gods and Monsters, is it's like Marvel Phase 4 already. They want the payoff for setting up a universe before they set up the universe.
You know what? I completely agree with you. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this because we were talking about Paradise Lost. My biggest problem with this is when we're reading about it, is it just doesn't sound very interesting to me. It's set in Themyscira. It touches on Wonder Woman's history and her character arc. But it's not clear if she's even going to be in it. And it focuses on the genesis and political intrigue of an island of all women. I mean, look, not to, but like unless it's going to, because they say it sounds Game of Thronesy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to include external kingdoms because it's not going to be very interesting just to do the political intrigue of
it's got to
Themyscira
include
itself.
all the gods, right?
It's got to include that. It hopefully includes Atlantis because Themyscira and Atlantis. That's.
God, I would love if they go. Oh, what
Yeah.
if Flashpoint causes?
That's what I'm talking about.
A war between.
Yep.
Oh, that would be
So
cool.
hopefully that's something they're going to do because if it's not, with the limited thing we're hearing about it, my biggest problem with Paradise Lost is it just doesn't sound interesting.
And it just sucks too because obviously James Gunn came into the role mid last year. It's still early in development on everything. And they had to make an announcement because DC's been in this mess ever since Justice League came out. And DC wants to get back on track. So James Gunn I'm not saying James Gunn's a great person. I'm not saying James Gunn's a horrible person. I'm saying he's put in a difficult position where he's got to somehow... He's taking control of this universe that's in a complete mess right now.
I agree. Oh yeah,
So-
it's a difficult position.
And everyone's clamoring for news. Everyone's clamoring like, what is your plan?
Mm-hmm.
So he had to put out this plan. Obviously, nothing is fully fleshed out yet. He's still writing the Superman thing.
Everything. There was audibles going on the last thing, so I'm sure he can do some.
So I'm not saying any of this stuff's going to be bad. It's just for a chapter 1.
I agree with what you're saying.
This is what the problem was with them doing the DCU was they were trying to rush it to get to everything.
One of the many problems, but yeah, you're right.
And right now I'm looking at this, I'd rather take the DCEU slate.
Just what's solidified already. I mean, I'm with you. I completely agree.
So again, all these things can turn out to be great. It's
Yeah.
just it seems like outside of the Superman, Batman, I'll put in the Paradise Lost and then the Lantern show. That all makes sense for a chapter 1. They need I guess if the Flash is going to be established still, like if they're still using the Flash
I suppose.
and Aquaman, I guess those two are established. It's just unclear what's they're taking from the DC. I guess we have to wait till the Flash movie comes out.
You know what? I will say this. An ironic thing in this is that their whole plan is to make an internet-connected universe and really have this play off. But I'm not excited. Like, I realize when I'm excited for the Superman movie, I'm not excited for him to see anyone else. I want to see a Superman movie. A Batman movie, I don't want to see Superman show up. But so that's an ironic thing is that I'm looking at this list and the things that make me excited have nothing to do with connection.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, okay, I'm interested in a Superman movie, interested in a Batman movie. A Supergirl movie is kind of weird. Swamp Thing I thought was a weird thing, and I don't really want to see a Swamp Thing movie if I'm being completely honest. Lanterns, interesting. I'm a big fan of Green Lantern, but
I want to see a good Lantern live action.
They're
doing
ripe with
I guess we can talk about that show.
I'll just quickly because you made a really good point, which is you look at all this stuff and it's concerning that this is chapter 1 and you don't see an establishment of the Trinity, which is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, the foundation of DC. It's kind of concerning that Superman has a movie, Batman has a movie. You don't see Wonder Woman on that list.
And I get it. We've had those movies already, but
it's just kind of weird when you're going for something like this.
Marvel, like if you're trying to compete with Marvel, they have a universe that's connected, and they started with roots that were strong. So now they have a strong base, And guess what? It's kind of crumbling right now. But they were able to get to that point where the crumbling can still make a lot of money because everyone trusts them because they have that strong base. We have to wait and see with the Flash movie and what they announce with more of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because, things can change. We saw with the DCU, they gave out a slate. The Flash was supposed to come out in 2018. A Cyborg movie was supposed to come out. What else was supposed to come out?
I forgot about that. But also, just to put a reminder for everyone, we'll have to wait and see. This chapter 1 is going to begin in 2025.
That's the other thing.
What's the point of even announcing it at this point? I mean,
because everyone was like, "What's your plan? What's your plan?"
But 2025, man. I mean, good God, a little urgency would have been a little bit nicer. Something, just something.
That's why I'm also mad because it's like, it's coming out in 2025. But if they were like, we're doing Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash is gonna get is either established or is gonna get established again. Mm-hmm. Set up your foundations. I don't care if they take their time because I want it to be good because I love DC. Yes, it sucks that we have to wait 2 years. I'm fine with waiting. I don't need Marvel where they're pumping out something every 2 months.
I agree. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's the negative. The bad with the good you have to take with the James Gunn situation is, he kind of leans towards the more obscure. But I think maybe there's a bit too many. This is pretty half and half. Or if I'm going to be real, I mean, other than Batman and Superman, the other ones seem a little bit too obscure to really be involved.
I mean, Lanterns.
Yes, but as a TV show, that's why it's a little.
I think it's going to work because they're doing Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan.
But that's still.
And I think they're doing Guy Gardner.
But see, that like we were talking about, rushing to the feast. I think they're rushing a bit too much on that.
I think they can do that with Lanterns though, because
but then
Lanterns,
think about it. But then when they finally do a Justice League movie, which isn't even planned to end in this chapter, who's going to be the Green Lantern in the Justice League? There's going to be 3 Green Lanterns?
Hold on. This isn't all of Chapter 1. In the video, he announced that there's going to be more, but this is all that they have confirmed.
Good gracious. Okay. Well, we can move on. Let's move on to if there's something you want to talk about. I was just going to go to number 3.
Yeah, before we start talking about the rest of the obscure stuff. Marvel has ruined us to the point where everyone's like, if a movie sequel or something doesn't come out within like a year and a half, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're wasting time. Let's go back to the Batman movies. Christopher Nolan did a movie in between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Inception. Cool. Nobody had a problem. Sure, Dark Knight Rises is probably the weakest of the 3, but still made a lot of money. Everyone enjoyed it. The Batman just came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
It is confirmed that the part 2 is coming out in 2025. Everyone is pissed on the internet saying, why isn't it coming out sooner? And Matt Reeves is working on another project in between.
Oh, they're probably.
And they're like, why are you doing that? You should be working on the Batman.
I actually didn't know that aspect.
I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. Yes, it sucked. I mean, it doesn't suck. Like, obviously, we all just want to see the next great thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Marvel has ruined us in the fact that they can factory produce these movies. It's an assembly line. And if somebody like Edgar Wright isn't going along with that assembly line, they'll just get kicked out and someone else will come in and finish the project in time.
Great example.
So I am fine with it taking its time because I want it to be good, obviously. I just don't want them to take the time and continue to be a mess like what happened with the DCU.
I think the only thing I think is why people expect it, and in defense, play devil's advocate, is, when Marvel started out, it was Marvel Studios. And, when DC, this is obviously, they're calling it DC Studios. And studios make multiple pictures a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's unfortunate. And I think it kind of, when you're in the headspace of creating an interconnected universe, you're forced to think like that. And you're right. But I think that's what
obviously when it gets all up and running, it's going to be pumping more faster.
Yeah.
And because I think all this stuff is coming out within 2025 to 2027. So it's all coming out. It's just everything's early now.
Yep.
Because they just had to make this plan, so everything's super early. They're working. Once it gets going, it's going to go. It's just we have to wait and see now.
Yeah.
Because they're rebooting. They're not taking everything from the DCU. They're not continuing that. So
I'm going to check real quick. Do you know if The Flash has a release date?
I think it's June now.
I thought it was March last time I checked.
It was March, but I think they delayed it.
Well, let's see. 2023. It's June 16th. Okay, so we'll definitely know how this thing
And
kind
then
of
Aquaman's December. So we're
the
still
shape.
getting DC stuff.
But it seems like the
Blue
Flash
Beetle's
is.
next
It seems like
year.
the Flash is going to be really important in seeing
It's
how
just
this is
weird that the
shaken up.
Flash is supposed to. That's how it resets everything.
I'll just make a real quick point. It seems weird to me how much James Gunn wants things to be fresh. I mean, we're not doing Henry Cavill anymore, Superman. But then why are we even keeping the remnants of the Flash involved? I mean, just let that be its own thing. Let it end. Have
Hmm.
no one talk about the DCEU anymore, and then just start up DCU.
That's the messy thing. It's
It's
like,
gonna. You're making it. You're having remnants of a mess already in
hmm
your thing. So I don't get that.
it is messy. It's like they want to start fresh, but they're not.
Yeah, they're trying to cut the difference here. Or
Which
just
I,
it doesn't. They're splitting they're hedging their bets. That's what I was
yeah,
trying to say. That's the annoying thing. But quickly, if I will start, I will go to number 3 unless I was surprised to see this on chapter 1. Was a
yeah.
Supergirl movie, Supergirl Women of Tomorrow. It's based off of Tom King's comic stories. I'll check that out. I'll maybe even review it if you guys are interested. But if you are interested in reading it, it's based on Tom King's work.
Did you
And
read it?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm kind of interested because now it's in chapter 1. Presents a Supergirl viewers are not used to seeing, which is funny. That's the blurb from from the article we're reading. Because what are we used to seeing in Supergirl? The CW show? I mean,
Yeah.
people aren't used to seeing Supergirl, which I'm surprised why they chose her to be involved in chapter 1. We were watching Seinfeld before. I don't think she's chapter 1 worthy. I don't think she's worthy of chapter 1. I mean, she's Superman's cousin.
Hmm.
She's a great character. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of Superman and his story and everything. But I don't think Supergirl needs to show up.
Based on the video I watched, I don't think she's on Earth.
That's even dumber than why
Yeah,
are we wasting our
exactly.
time
She's
with
in.
her in
s-
Candor?
I think she's in space.
Well, okay, I'm going to read this novel, and
Yeah.
if there's something I could do,
I don't
I'm
know
gonna,
much about it, but it didn't look like she was on Earth. It
Ugh.
looked like she was on an alien planet because they showed artwork or something.
Well, I'm going to read this comic, and I'm going to get back to you guys because I'm
But yeah, it's like this is something you do in chapter 2, like you
This is-
introduce Superman's cousin.
Right.
This
Yeah.
isn't everything announced in chapter 1, so it's everyone like it's the wait and see game
Yep.
because we have no idea what's gonna happen. So next on the list is the Authority.
The Authority. Jacob was right on the money. Well, oh, okay, I'm going to give him credit for it. He said it's from the 90s.
Yes, 99.
It's from the 1999 comic.
We're
book.
90s
It's,
babies.
Yeah, it's like that meme. I'm a 90s baby, and you were born in 1999, December. Anyway, so it's 1999 comic book series published under the Wildstorm imprint. Okay, that explains how I don't know what the heck this is because I know Vertigo. Okay, give me some Vertigo any day. I know that stuff. Okay, I know the losers. Constantine, Sandman. You want to quiz me? You're taking from the Wildstorm imprint on chapter 1. You're going that deep, James Gunn. I know you like obscurity, but the Wildstorm imprint. Okay.
I would have been fine if this was something labeled as Elseworlds, but it's not.
Oh, you know what, Jacob? I agree with that. And another thing. Well, no, I don't even know because I don't even know what the Authority is. I should look this up.
It's supposed to be like a group of heroes that they're kind of like Batman. They're like a more aggressive Batman. Like, but they have superpowers where they want to take laws in their own hands.
Oh, they are a superpowered group.
Yeah, like
see,
I
now-
think they're like they want to be like
Oh my!
judge, jury, executioner type thing.
It's like
I didn't ever read it.
so. Oh, it's like that Doom Superman Doom movie. What's that called? When they when it's like Superwoman, Ultraman. It's the Crime
Oh.
Syndicate. The Crime Syndicate.
And
That's
then
what it's called.
the Owl Batman
Yeah, Owlman.
was gonna
Okay, Meet the Authority, the anti-Justice League. You know what? You're right. I was thinking when I heard the Authority, my brain went to something along the lines of the Losers. If you know what the Losers look like, I thought it was just a ragtag group, or maybe Sergeant Rock and his battalion. I thought it was going to be something like that. Knowing that this is a superpowered team, and just from what I'm looking at, I'm surprised. This chapter 1 material.
Exactly.
And you know
if
what?
they labeled this Elseworlds, okay.
I don't know about the Elseworlds thing, but I will say this.
But you would be like, okay, they want to do some more in DC that's to bring more of DC's characters out. Okay, if it's labeled Elseworlds, it doesn't affect the rest of the universe, but you can still do this goofy stuff.
You know what?
That's what the whole point of
I agree.
Elseworlds, I thought, was.
But there's something about this one where I feel like it's too wonky to even be its own project.
Yeah.
What annoys me about it is, yeah, it's obscure, but it's a movie. They're doing a movie about these guys. This is TV show material. I would be fine if you said they're Authority. What? Oh, they're making a TV show? I'd say, you know what? Power to you. I wouldn't mind. At this moment, make a movie about Will Magnus and the Metal Men. I mean, are you serious? You doing the Authority movie? All right, that's all I have to say about that one. Let's see. I'll just finish the blurb. It's a group of 7 heroes with very high-concept superpowers. Okay. Jack Hawksmoor is one of them, and he's physically bonded to cities. Oh, that's going to play well. Drawing his strength from them. Oh, drawing? That doesn't make any sense to me. Look, this is making my blood boiling right now. My blood pressure's up. My BP's rising. We'll go to the next one.
James Gunn was very excited about this one.
Oh, I'm sure he was. Typical James Gunn fashion. I'm sorry. Maybe my bias is showing through a little bit too much here. I'm not too crazy about James Gunn in general. Okay. After the Authority, they have a Swamp Thing movie.
Yes.
Swamp Thing, fine. I'd be okay with that. You could do really fun stuff in here. Creature from the Black Lagoon, so that type of stuff. The good old Universal Monster movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
Weird that you're going to put this in Chapter 1 in an interconnected superhero universe.
I mean, they're calling it Gods and Monsters.
That's a monster.
It's monster.
But
it's weird that they're doing this because they just had the TV show that everyone loved.
Really? Have you watched?
People that I didn't watch it, but people that did watch it loved it and were sad that it was getting canceled.
Well, I just think you can have a lot of fun with it. It could be a real fun, dark universe, a Universal monster movie, and it could feed well. Because the thing that I know about is that Swamp Thing kind of has a good connective tissue with John Constantine.
Yes.
And now that you mention it, now it's called Gods and Monsters. I'm surprised that you have an Authority movie and not a John Constantine movie.
Everything's not announced yet.
Okay, everything's not announced yet. What? What?
Keanu
Jacob's
has
right.
said he wants to come back.
Well, anyway, yeah. So
it's a possibility.
Swamp Thing, I think it'd be a fun movie. It's kind of weird. It's in Chapter 1, but maybe
That's the thing.
Maybe it's going to be good.
Weird Chapter 1.
Yep.
We're in Chapter 1. Weird thing to do in Chapter 1.
Maybe John Constantine's going to be in the movie. Can lead to Justice League Dark in Chapter 2.
I would love a Justice League Dark.
Everyone does. Guillermo del Toro was going to make one at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was going to be something. Creature Commandos was next on the list. This is the animated TV show.
Gunn's the writer.
Oh God. Sorry.
Amanda Waller's in it.
Oh no.
And it's forms another super team out of monstrous prisoners. Okay, some more monsters.
It's
the rat from Suicide Squad is probably going to be in it.
The rat.
Do you remember the new Suicide Squad movie, like that weird rat?
I know. No. I remember Rat Catcher, who was a human girl.
Look up.
And she had a pet rat. King Shark? That was the monster?
No, not King Shark. The dude that died right away in the beach. Well, he didn't die. Like, they dropped him from...
Weasel.
Yep,
that's the one. Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure he's going to make an appearance in that show.
You know what? I think Jacob's onto something, because you know who played Weasel?
His brother.
Yeah, his brother. Yeah. Oh, yeah, even in the thing where the little thumbnail in CBR.
Boom.
Yep. Okay, well, this looks pretty weird, but... and it's animated, so what the heck is going on here? The fact that you have an animated show in your Chapter 1, this is a mess.
I'm fine with it being an animated show, because, that means it's not going to have a big impact on the universe.
That's what I'm talking about, though.
It's not going to take a lot to make, so it's not going to distract from everything else that's going on. The Authority as a movie doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
Because that's what people are going to go see.
I hope
the animated TV show, that's something that people have to search for.
Okay, you bought me.
And it's just something to build out the world. Fine, you're building out the world.
Jacob's got
That's why I'm fine with this being an animated TV show and not a movie. The Authority being a movie. If the Authority was an animated TV show too, okay, cool. It'd be a little more fun. But it's a movie.
Jacob, you're playing with my blood pressure a bit too much right now. Okay, I agree with you. Yeah. Now that you talked me down, you talked me off the ledge. Creature Commandos is an animated TV show. I'm fine with. I can live with that. Authority still makes. I'm seeing red right now. After that, there's the Waller TV show. What the heck is this Viola Davis still? Do you know?
Yes.
She's still gonna do it.
Yes.
What? Well, you know what?
This is one of the things from The Flash.
She was underutilized. I mean, she's great.
Yeah. She's great as Amanda Waller. So I'm fine with her getting a TV show.
Okay, you know what? They can have some fun with this as a TV show. But with this logic, I'm surprised it's not the Authority. It's not an Authority level movie. I mean, come on. But no,
Yeah, I
Waller
think
is a TV
I
show.
think the Waller TV show was in production for the DCU.
I'm good with the. I mean,
But
she
then
has a
they're just
lot.
keeping it.
She has a lot of interactions with a lot of characters in DC. That's
Yeah.
a good pick for a TV
Yes.
show.
And it makes sense to have Waller in Chapter 1 because
I agree as well.
Waller's a big antagonist to the Justice League.
time.
So I'm fine with Waller being in Chapter 1. Makes sense.
Lanterns is a TV show. Now, I'm a big fan of Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite being Hal Jordan. You got a favorite?
I'm partially Jon Stewart just because I grew
Jon
up
Stewart's
with
great too.
I grew up with the Justice League animated series. So
That's good news for both of us because apparently in this TV show it's going to be Hal Jordan, the Silver Age Green Lantern, and Jon Stewart, the first appearance in 1971 for a buddy cop team up. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about, which is buddy cop team up. Great. Do some Lethal Weapon. Do some Riggs and Murtaugh. I'm a fan. All right. But you know what? That's buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
That's what people like hearing. It's a buddy cop movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Lanterns, in my opinion, should be a movie. Okay?
Yeah. But at the same time, a TV show you can do more.
And if I'm being completely honest, like chronologically as well, Hal Jordan maybe should have gotten a movie of a Green Lantern. There should be a movie of a Green Lantern. And then you know what?
But hold on.
Okay,
Hold on,
Jacob.
hold
Hold on. You better.
The TV show, I think it makes sense because they're doing a buddy cop team up because it's supposed to be like a thriller, like solving a mystery type thing.
I'm a fan.
So it makes sense. I'm not saying it couldn't work as a movie, but I think you can explore more because
I agree.
Explore more on a TV show. But apparently, what James Gunn said in the video is that Lanterns is gonna be what sets up what's happening, like the big threat.
Oh, isn't that great? Have your big threat on a TV show. I'm sorry. No,
But
you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
they're
You know
not
what I'm
gonna.
saying.
Yeah, but they're not gonna expose everything. But like this is leading to.
But that's what I'm saying is that
Which
it's
I
kind of a
think-
Disney problem is that how required like the TV shows are becoming required viewing for movies now, which is another kind of mess.
Yeah.
That's the mess part of it.
I hope they do the TV shows, but I don't think The Waller is going to be a TV show that you have to watch to get the rest of the universe. I think it's just a fun thing that they're putting in the universe. But Lanterns, it makes sense to me that they're going to discover like what's happening.
Big bad.
Because the Justice League's always formed because of an alien threat.
I agree.
I just hope
you're right.
they don't do Starro. Because, I mean, granted, Starro died in the Suicide Squad.
But now that doesn't matter.
But I swear to you, this is another thing like with the Damian Wayne thing. I watched the Battle of the Super Sons.
Yeah. Starro was the bad guy in there.
Yeah. And I'm just like, why is Starro popular all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I'm seeing him everywhere.
It's a weird one.
So
I'm never crazy.
I just hope it's not Starro.
Well, the thing with now, this is what I was gonna get at was the TV show being required viewing. That's another problem that's kind of popping up here. And if that's the thing, that's for me like red alert, shields up. Like that's a bad sign. But what I was gonna say is that I don't mind Lanterns being someone like Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, both A-listers in my opinion, being relegated to a TV show. I think what they should have done is have a Green Lantern movie with Hal Jordan in the lead. You get to understand the character, you get to know Hal Jordan and understand the lore of Green Lanterns through Hal Jordan. And then in the same chapter, you can make a TV show where he's now paired up with Jon Stewart. And he's kind of showing Jon Stewart the ropes. Jon Stewart's getting familiar with it.
I think they're just scared because of how bad the last Green Lantern movie did.
I blame Ryan Reynolds.
But I think it's unfair because that was when superhero movies were way harder to make because no one knew how to make them.
But I can't believe it because shout out Martin Campbell. Martin Campbell directed that. And he has some bangers on his name. He's got GoldenEye, Casino Royale, and The Mask of Zorro. This guy makes movies, man.
Yeah, I think the Green Lantern was just DC putting their hands in it.
And you know who I blame?
Who?
Taika Waititi.
Was he a part of it?
Taika Waititi was in Green Lantern.
No way.
I'm pulling it up right now. But
I think they made that joke in Free Guys.
They did?
I think so.
My God. You mean they made a referential humor joke in a Ryan Reynolds movie?
Yes.
You're kidding me.
No.
This is breaking news. How have we not reported on this? That Ryan Reynolds made a referential joke to a pop. Oh my God, this is incredible. And not only to anything, but he made a referential joke to his own career.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Incredible, people.
Oh my
Anyway,
God,
sorry.
He was in it.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that movie in forever.
Well, there's no reason to. But yeah, he's in it. playing American, by the way. So anyone's
Yeah.
interested in that. All right,
So,
let's wrap this thing up. Booster Gold.
Well, yeah, Booster Gold.
Oh, sorry.
One last thing in the lanterns.
Sorry, yes. I didn't want to cut you off. Jacob has something to say about the
I,
lanterns.
that's why I think this universe is also going to be like fairly, like they're going to be fairly established in the universe already because they have 2 Green Lanterns already. Possibly Guy Gardner's going to be in there too, which
Avoid Guy Gardner.
So I don't think we're going to see origins of anybody.
But that's the weird thing.
In the big,
but what are you
in
gonna
the
do?
big Justice League group.
What
which
a shame.
Sucks
what a shame. Oh yeah, you're right. There's no way they're touching a Bruce Wayne or.
So do you think the Justice League is already established?
No, I would be shocked. Now,
okay. So do you remember
insane.
when the animated universe rebooted and they started with everyone's kind of established in their own city, and then everyone kind of came together?
Yes, the New 52 one.
Yeah.
Justice League War, I believe it was called.
Yeah. So everyone was established in their own city, and then they came together because of the mother boxes.
The mother boxes
up everywhere.
Solid.
So I guess if they do it like that, kind of cool.
They
but
can
everyone
pull it
was
off.
still kind of infant in their
But
city.
you should
Batman
get
was
to-
still kind of new. Superman was still kind of new. Green Lantern was still new.
But if you don't grow with these characters, if you don't see them start from nothing, then how are you going to be
How are you
going to
be attached? So
All right.
Booster Gold.
Yeah, since now as a
Excited
reminder,
to see
we
him.
talked about Paradise Lost already, so this
Yeah.
is the finale. Booster Gold. Well, we'll do wrap up thoughts, but
Yeah.
this whole thing's been a wrap up thought. But yeah, Booster
Excited
Gold.
to see him.
Oh God, wait, are you a fan of Booster Gold?
He's fun.
He is a fun guy.
Yeah.
I like him. I like his character.
Story's cool. He's from the future and wants to be a hero, but he's like not.
Well, and he does it. Does he do it because he's a great guy and he wants to help people?
No, he's selfish and just wants to be famous.
He wants to be famous. Now, people always said, I don't know if people always say this or I just said people always say this, but Nathan Fillion, I don't know what his name was always going around with Booster Gold because he does have a very similar kind of sense of humor. But yeah, when you're thinking, who's Booster Gold like? Think Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy. All right? He's likable.
Charismatic.
Oh, he's got a Legion of Superheroes ring in this picture. But yeah, so he goes back in time to be a fame and fortune to get superhero.
And he just uses like technology from his time that's pretty easy to have.
He's got a little R2D2 type character. I'm trying to remember his name off the bat, but I'm sorry, I'm blind right now. But he's great.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a fun movie. And you know what? Ironically, if this was the one movie you said, oh, you know what? James Gunn's writing it, he's directing it. That's the one I would be like, okay, I think that's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Because Booster Gold is... Oh, and sorry. False alarm, never won. It's a TV show. So
you didn't think you thought it was a movie?
I thought it was a movie. So now, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun watch.
But I think all the TV shows, it's not like a long season. It's like a
10 episodes, 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean,
what? Even the animated show I read, I think it's only 7 episodes.
Let's just forget about TV shows. I know I'm very anti-TV show as a person. I'm terrible at watching them.
It's just I don't think you like TV shows because I think you don't like committing yourself to coming back.
Yes. I have commitment issues.
You have a hard time going to the theater. I have to drag you out.
That's
to
a
the
good
theater.
point, actually. Jeez.
So I think you just don't like them because it's not convenient to you.
Yep.
I think you wouldn't mind them if they put it all out at one time. You just don't like.
Are you kidding me? That never happens for me. I mean, Netflix does that. I've never done that in my life.
But I feel like if a DC thing came out where they're like, yeah, all the episodes are out right now.
That's a good point.
You would be like, okay.
That's a good point.
You could keep on watching it when you want to, but when you stop, you can stop. You don't like having to watch it every week.
Good point. Well, no, you know what? I don't. Yeah, you know what? I do Seinfeld. That's about it. Yeah, you know how far I got in the Peacemaker TV show?
How far?
I didn't start it.
Well, it's not your type of show.
Well, no, James Gunn did it, but that's the thing is, I don't know. So I know I'm very biased between James Gunn and television shows, but this is the chapter 1. It's you know what? It's a mixed bag. It's trail mix.
It's gonna be interesting,
and there's a whole lot of raisins in it. That's not a great analogy because I love
great
raisins.
Analogies.
I love raisins.
It's a great analogy.
But
it's gonna be interesting.
I mean, our wrap up thoughts. I like the Superman one. Brave and the Bold, I'm interested in, but you're right. You kind of let the alarm bells go off with the history of that character.
If they include the history, it'll be fine. It's if they disregard the history, then it's like, what are we doing?
What's the point? What are we doing here? What's going on?
You can't do Batman and then introduce his son.
You're completely right. I'll just go through this quickly, and then you can do the list quickly right after me. Supergirl, okay, fine, interesting. Shouldn't be in chapter 1. The Authority movie, What are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Mom, pick me up. Swamp Thing movie could be fun. Strange kind of to be in chapter 1. Hopefully it's connected to Justice League Dark in the future. Creature Commandos, no. Please, it's animated. Jacob talked me off the ledge because it's animated. The Waller TV show makes sense. The only thing really is a TV show because that character interacts with so many other DC characters. The Lanterns TV show, good, but hopefully you can actually get to know both of these characters from the start and really develop with them. Booster Gold TV show, I'm a fan of Booster Gold. He's gonna be fun. Hopefully they get they kill it on the casting and it'll be great. And Paradise Lost, I don't know. It didn't sound fun to me. Maybe if they do some kingdoms with other, Themyscira and Atlanteans, then it could be interesting. But I don't see it being that interesting. All right, that's my wrap up. Jacob, you can go.
I feel pretty much the same way as you on most of those things. Lanterns, we could get some flashbacks and see their past and how they became a lantern. Maybe they have an episode dedicated to that. I just want to say, I think it's going to be interesting, this chapter 1. It's weird to me how James Gunn is like kind of in the Kevin Feige role.
Definitely.
But he's partnered with someone, and I think that person's going to be more Kevin Feige.
Shout out Peter Safran. We didn't talk about him enough.
I don't know about him that much. So, and it's just weird to me that Kevin Feige doesn't... He's puppeteer. He controls everything, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't write. He doesn't direct.
Right.
It's weird to me that James Gunn, who's supposed to be in control of everything, is writing some stuff, directing some stuff, and kind of involving himself. So he's gonna get it's supposed to be his vision and the other dude's vision.
Right.
So I get it that if he has the ability to be part of his vision, he can. It's just weird to me because I feel like he's gonna get connected to some things, not connected to other things. That's why it was weird Zack Snyder being in charge of the DCU kind of, because it's like he's a very passionate person,
right,
and very how he wants to do things is how he wants to do things. And Kevin Feige is why Marvel worked, and I give him a lot of credit because while his vision we don't always agree with, at least he keeps it tonally the same. Everything's the same. They can have. Sometimes it's at a fault. Sometimes it's a really good strength. So it's going to be interesting. I really hope this works out. I love DC. I just want it to work out.
That's a great thing. And like you always said in this episode, we'll just have to wait and see.
It's a big wait and see game.
So it's a big wait and see game right now.
So we'll wait and see if we'll see you guys again.
Much like this YouTube channel, it's a wait and see situation you're in. Yeah. Hopefully,
we don't make money, so this is just a hobby.
If you send some money our way, maybe. But yeah, no. We'll see how life gets in the way and how often we can do this. We're not making any promises, but hey, we showed up and it was a fun time.
Yeah.
So maybe see you guys later.
We'll see you again.
Okay. Jacob guaranteed it. It's a Men's Warehouse guarantee from Jacob.